Top 10 Worst Sports Injuries. Athletes are prone to injuries, it is not a new thing. But unfortunately, there have been many incidents where athletes have gotten into serious incidents that threatened their careers and lives. At some point, every athlete suffers from injuries. While some can bounce back, for some, it takes a painful process and rehabilitation to get to the field. It might sound astounding that some of the athletes' injuries also become famous. However, it is because of the athlete's popularity or the grueling nature of the injuries. There have been many gruesome and unfortunate sports injuries in sports history. Therefore, today we are looking at some of the most unfortunate sports injuries. So let's get started. 10. Marcin Vashilevsky. Our number 10 spot of the worst sports injury is Marcin Vashilevsky. He is a former Polish soccer player who got into an injury after Axel Witsel in 2009. In the 24th minute of the game, the incident occurred where Jupiler League was facing the Standard Liège. Vashilevsky was 29 years old, and his right back's lower leg was broken due to Witsel's recklessness. After the injury, Vashilevsky had to undergo temporary corrective surgery. In addition, surgery was required on multiple open fractures of both the tibia and fibula. Meanwhile, Witsel was given a red card for offence and suspended for 8 games by the Belgian FA after an appeal. Vashilevsky had to undergo a long rehabilitation before he was able to return to the game. 9. Jessica Dube. What comes to your mind when you hear ice skating? Of course, most of us think about athletes gliding across an ice surface with elegance and giving an incredible performance. But the accident faced by former Canadian figure skater Jessica Dube in 2007 reminded everyone how dangerous the sport could be. In 2007, at the Four Continents Championships held in Colorado Springs, Dube's partner Bryce Davison came too close during the free skate segment. The incident occurred on their third rotation side-by-side camel spin. Davison had come too close during the spin, and his skating blade struck Dube in the face. Immediately she fell to the ice, and the audience gasped when they saw Dube clutching her face as blood pooled on the ice. Luckily her eyes were not affected, and nothing was broken. But both Dube and her partner had to undergo PTSD after the incident. 8. Bryce Flory. Bryce Flory is a former MLB pitcher and is number 8 on our list for a worst sports injury. In his career in MLB that spanned for 8 seasons, Flory is remembered vividly for the facial injury he suffered in 2000. In 2000, Flory pitched for the Boston Red Sox against Ryan Thompson of New York Yankees. He was hit on the face by a line drive off the bat of Thompson. The next thing Flory knew was that he was lying on the ground and bleeding. The impact fractured his cheekbone and orbital socket. Similarly, he also suffered damage to his eye retina. After the injury, Flory has to undergo surgery to relieve the pressure caused by the injury and save his eye. In 2001, he returned to MLB but was released by the team. 7. Bobby Valentine. On our number 7 of the worst sports injury is former professional baseball player Bobby Valentine. He was one of the top baseball prospects in the late 1960s. The Los Angeles Dodgers drafted him as the 5th overall in the 1968 MLB draft. The incident occurred in 1973 when Valentine was 23 years old. His leg drove into the vinyl between 2 support poles in an outfield chain link as he attempted to steal a home run. Valentine was down on the ground, and his shin was bent in the middle. As a result, both his lower right leg's bones were fractured. However, Valentine's bone healed poorly. The doctors discovered the bones had knit poorly. Despite the injury not healing properly, he returned to play the following season. 6. Ungalu Bay. The next injury that we will mention on our list is that of a soccer player Ungalu Bay. One of the rising talents of soccer, Ungalu Bay had one of the worst injuries possible that ended his career. The incident occurred in 2009, during the promotion playoff match. Felix Muamba brutally tackled Ungalu Bay. Muamba's assault broke his leg, and the terrible incident was captured on screen. You can see the impact of Muamba's tackle as Ungalu Bay's right leg totally bent the opposite way. The injury cut his career short. He could not return to the field after the gruesome attack. 5. Gordon Hayward. Our number 6 worst sports injury goes to NBA player Gordon Hayward. Utah Jazz drafted him as the 9th overall pick of the 2010 NBA draft. Unfortunately, we are talking about the incident right after he signed with Boston Celtics. Hayward made his first appearance for the Celtics in 2017. But less than 6 minutes into the game, he suffered a season-ending injury. He has suffered a fractured tibia and dislocated his left leg ankle. As Hayward went for an alley-oop, he had awkwardly landed on the hardwood, which caused his leg to collapse under his weight. His leg bent unnaturally, and spectators watched the incident horrified as he twisted in pain. Soon after the incident, Hayward was transferred to Boston, where he had to undergo surgery. Unfortunately, he also had to undergo second surgery after a couple of months. 4. Zach Miller. Football is one of those sports where players get into injuries. Zach Miller is a former football tight end who suffered from one of the worst sports injuries. During his career, Miller was plagued with various injuries. However, in 2017, he suffered the worst injury that ended his career forever. Miller played for the Chicago Bears in a game against New Orleans Saints. While attempting to catch a touchdown pass, he landed on his left knee and dislocated it. Further, after an examination, it came to light that he had not only dislocated his knee but also tore his popliteal artery. As a result, there was even the possibility of amputation. Fortunately, Miller's vascular surgery was successful. After the surgery, he was in the hospital for weeks. 3. Napoleon McCallum. Napoleon McCallum is a former football player who played 6 seasons in NFL. He was part of the U.S. Naval Academy and played professional football for Los Angeles Raiders. McCallum was stuck in the ground, forcing his knee, causing gruesome dislocation and hypoextension of his knee. Norton was pinned underneath for a couple of minutes under him due to the injury. Moreover, the injury could have led to his leg amputation, but luckily the surgery went well. Unfortunately, McCallum's career ended after the injury. 2. Kevin Ware. He is an American professional basketball player who currently plays in the Iraqi Basketball League franchise Al Naft Baghdad. Ware played basketball for the University of Louisville. Then in 2013, in the first half of an Elite 8 game, he suffered an injury that received widespread media attention. After attempting to block a shot, Ware landed awkwardly on his right leg. It caused an open fracture that protruded several inches out of the shin. Needless to say, the spectators were traumatized by what they saw. Ware was taken to the hospital, where the surgeon had to perform a 2-hour operation to insert a rod in his tibia. 1. Clint Malachik. We have made our way to the number 1 worst sports injury. While many players on our list had their careers ended due to injuries, this player nearly lost his life due to injury. Clint Malachik had his neck sliced by a skate. You read it correctly, the former Canadian ice hockey goaltender had his neck sliced. In the 1989 NHL game, Steve Tuttle and Huey Krupp crashed into the goal crease. Tuttle's skate blade hit the right front side of Malachik's neck. The scene was gruesome. As blood gushed out of Malachik's neck, many spectators were sickened by the sight of a blood pool on the ice. Although he was able to leave the ice on his own feet with the help of the team's athletic trainer, he lost an excessive amount of blood. Please consider liking and subscribing if you enjoyed this video. See you next time.